Greetings and welcome to Microsoft Excel 2013. In this video, we're going to discuss three different types of functions: the lookup function, a horizontal lookup, so HLOOKUP, and a vertical lookup, a VLOOKUP. So what's the purpose of the lookup, VLOOKUP, and HLOOKUP? Well, it's for Excel to retrieve information. So we say, let's say you're looking on a calendar, and on the top of the calendar has Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we say, what is the third Thursday of the month? Well, you as a human would go look at that calendar, find Thursday, and go down 3 Thursdays, and you would bring back that date of the third Thursday in the month. Excel's very similar. In fact, that description would be an HLOOKUP, a horizontal lookup, because it had to look horizontally. You had to look horizontally through the days of the week: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and it was listed at the top horizontally. And then you retrieved a certain week's information. Okay. If my days of the week were listed vertically, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm looking for maybe an activity that's in the third column away from it, maybe there's a birthday on the third Tuesday of the month. And so Excel looks for Tuesday and you look for Tuesday vertically and then go over and bring back the third item in the column. So that's kind of the difference between HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP, what you're looking for is listed vertically. In an HLOOKUP, your items are listed horizontally. Now a lookup is you're looking for one particular item and then you give it a range as to what to bring back. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the same sheet. It doesn't have to be in the same workbook, actually. So with a VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, they have to be on the same sheet. They have to be in the same table that you're looking at. And I'm using that term table very loosely. Doesn't have to be formatted as a table, but block of data, that type of table. A lookup, you tell it exactly where to look it up, which column or row to look it up, and then you also state what range do you bring back. Okay, so that's a little bit different. I use the vertical lookup. Probably if I'm doing a lookup, 90% of the time I would use a vertical lookup. So now that I've kind of chatted about it, maybe it sounds a little bit more confusing. Let's actually see it in play in the works. The key to doing a VLOOKUP or an HLOOKUP is the information that the list of items that you need to look up must be in alphabet or numerical order. So my data that I'm going to look up is this style code, and as you see right now, it is not K, G, B, N, F, N, K, H are what they start with. That is not in order. So I'm just going to quickly sort it. You do want to sort from A to Z or low to high. I'm going to expand it and say sort. Okay, so now it's in ascending order. Over in the phone order, I also want to kind of cheat a little bit. I don't want to do tons of work on this sheet, but instead of typing in the item, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 types of style codes. So I'm going to quickly build a data validation, just a list of values that I can choose from. So I'm going to allow a list, and it's going to ask me, where do I go get my list? My list is right here. And then I'm going to say OK. And what does that do? It gives me a nice little list that I can choose from instead of typing it in. Now that I created it in one cell, I'm actually going to copy that down to the rest of the cells. So each cell will have the same item that I can select on a list. Okay, so that works really nicely. All right, I want Excel to look up this item and bring back the description. I also want it to bring back the color of the item, and I want it to bring back the price. Now the description and the price is on the product information sheet. But the color color is on the product code sheet. So it looks like the product code, I'm going to have to do an H lookup because this is horizontally laid out. And for the description and unit price, my items that I'm going to have Excel look for is vertical, so I need a V lookup. So let's get started here with a V lookup. And I like typing it in, but I'll explain everything that's going on. Equal sign, V lookup, because it is a vertical lookup, and it asks me, what do you want to look up? I want to look up A9. Okay. Where do I want to look it up? Well, I'm going to go ahead and select this table. But here's the thing. Eventually I want to copy this VLOOKUP down throughout all of these items that I'm going to order. So I don't want this table to ever change. I am going to use absolute cell referencing. Okay, I want to make sure that absolute cell referencing, this table never changes. Okay. Now, column index number. Column index number means which column of the table do you want to bring back? This is column 1, this is column 2, this is column 3 of the table. I want to bring back, for this particular one, I want to bring out the description, so that's 2. That's the second column of the table. And the range lookup I don't need, so I am done. And sure enough, for B-DB, it is a beaded bracelet. And Excel went and looked for this item. And because I did my absolute cell referencing, I can drag this down, and lo and behold, HCK is a choker necklace. Excel is smart enough to go look for H-CK and bring back choker necklace. Unit price is going to be very similar. So let's type it up again. Equal VLOOKUP, open parenthesis, lookup value. I'm going to look up the item. Where am I going to go look it up? Well, in the table. So again, I'm going to highlight the table. I'm going to use absolute cell referencing in there so it doesn't change. And my index is going to be, better check, my index is going to be the third column. Now Excel did put words in there, but I don't need the words. I need 3 for the third column of the table. And again, the range lookup is optional, so I don't need it. So I'm going to just end my function, and it does bring back my unit price. Again, now that I have my item done, I can just copy these functions, these formulas, down throughout my table. Now, why does it say NA? It's because there's no item that it's looking up yet. But as soon as I select an item, oh, that's the crystal bracelet and it's $12. I can also say how many I want to buy, and it's going to calculate. There's some formulas already in there. I do want it to bring back the color of the item. This time I'm going to use an H lookup, very similar to the V lookup, but it's horizontally laid out, so it's equal H lookup. It's going to say look up what value. Again, it's the item value. It's always the first column or row of the lookup table. Let me go to product color, and I will highlight the range on which it's going to look in. And I want to bring back the color, and it's the second row of the table. And again, I better put absolute cell referencing around my table indexing because I don't want it to change. And then that's it. So it brings back silver. Again, I can copy this function down, and so whatever I order, let's see, there we go, crystal necklace. It puts in all the rest of the data for me, saves me a lot of time. Again, let's see, another one of those, there we go, and I can say, oh, 1 of those, 3 of those, 4 of those. So that's pretty much it with VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. You need to tell it what is it that you're looking up. Where where are you looking it up, and which column for a VLOOKUP, or which row for an HLOOKUP. And if you recall, remember how I said 2 in the HLOOKUP. I want to be very clear. It's the row of the table that I've selected, not the row in the sheet. The row in the sheet is 4, but my table that I've selected, it's the second row of the table. So sometimes that can be a little confusing. Now, a lookup is slightly different. I don't have an opportunity for a lookup in my worksheet, so I went ahead and just did a search on the Microsoft site for lookup. And here's what it's going to happen, is your lookup value is whatever lookup value that you assign. Okay, so it's a straight value or number. Where you're going to go look it up is wherever it may be in a table format. For example, we're looking at 4.9, that's our value. We're going to look in range A2 through A6, and it's going to try and find the nearest thing to 4.9. Here's 4.9, and what does it bring back? Well, this B2 through B6, it's going to bring back whatever is next to the corresponding value. So if it's A2, it will bring back B2. If it's in A3, it's going to bring back B3. And the cool part about this is they don't have to be right next to each other. One table could be down here, and the other one could be down up here. So if A1 correlates with B20, it will do the correlation for you. But I don't use lookup very often. For something like this, a VLOOKUP is actually a little bit stronger to use. And in the event that your data changes, it's a little bit more complex to fix a lookup instead of a VLOOKUP or an HLOOKUP, because the HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP, it has a table that it's referencing. And you can just change that full reference of that table. But I'm not saying a lookup is not useful. It's just I don't usually use it. I use other things. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of touch base with a VLOOKUP, an HLOOKUP, and a regular lookup. And that's it for now. If you have any questions, please contact me. Till next time, be seeing you.